Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Mayor and City Council members, tonight is Tuesday, October 18th at 7:30 p.m. at a regularly scheduled City of Walled Lake Council meeting. Public officials with us in attendance: to my left, City Clerk, Ms. Jennifer Stewart; to my right, Ms. Finance Director, Ms. Chelsea Pesta; HR Administrator and Deputy City Clerk, Miranda Gross; Assistant City Manager, Scott Schrader; Acting Superintendent of Department of Public Works, Eric Menzies; Fire Chief, James Coomer; Deputy Chief of Police, Ms. Heather Kolke; and Chief of Police, Paul Shakinis. Madam Mayor, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, everyone, and let's, excuse me. We'll do the roll call, please.
Good evening. Ackley?
Here.
Ambrose?
Here.
Fernandez?
Here.
Locke?
Here.
Lublin?
Here.
Osnick? Woods?
Here.
Okay, I lost my place. We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance, and if Mayor Pro Tem Lublin will do the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we ask you to preside over this meeting tonight. Help us to act as a unified team to open our hearts and make fair and just decisions that improve our community. Also, may we come together as a whole with the courage and strength to show kindness and compassion as we collectively work towards the betterment of humanity. Amen.
Amen. Is Councilmember Osnick zooming in, or do we need a motion to excuse?
You will need a motion to excuse, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I'll ask for that at this time, please.
I'll make that motion.
Ambrose will second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we got that taken care of. Okay, the next item on the agenda would be the oath of office for firefighter Kyle Murphy.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we were contacted that Mr. Firefighter Kyle Murphy will not be in attendance this evening, but Fire Chief Coomer does have other items that he would like to present.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity tonight to recognize the men and women of the fire department and their accomplishments. The fire department provides a variety of services to the community. Services include fire suppression, EMS ambulance, transport, vehicle extrication, hazardous materials spills, severe weather emergencies, gas and electric emergency response, and just general people in distress. We could not perform these services without the quality of people and the proper equipment. Our staff includes 22 sworn members. Last year, the mayor and city council members approved the purchase of a new engine to replace a 22-year-old engine. The engine was paid for without any financing. Having this dependable equipment allows the firefighters to do their job safely and contributes to an impressive ISO 3 rating, insurance rating. I see what our men and women do every day on incidents, and it's nothing less than commendable. I would like to welcome our firefighters and their guests here tonight. We're here tonight to recognize two different accomplishments this evening: promoting 2 firefighters to driver, engineer, and recognizing senior members of the fire department for their service. When a person is hired in the fire department, the first step is probationary firefighter. Once they successfully pass all their basic training, they become a firefighter. Driving and operating the larger 30-ton fire trucks takes several state and department certifications prior to becoming a driver engineer. This process can take 2 to 3 years before a firefighter is promoted to driver engineer. So it takes a while for a firefighter, after they get off probation, to go through this driver engineer program. I would like to recognize this evening Devin Overbeck at this time and present him with his engineer badge. Devin has been with the department for 3 years. If Devin can step forward. Devin's a firefighter too, EMT, and he's definitely, I've seen him on a lot of different calls, and he's definitely proven himself, and he's been through our engineer program. Lieutenant Messner is going to pin his badge. This is an engineer badge. He had his firefighter badge prior.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'd like to recognize Julia Borgman at this time and present her with her engineer badge and helmet. Julia has been with the department for 2 years. She came to the department with her EMT license, and she went through the fire academy at Farmington Hills. And so under a 2-year period, she was able to obtain her fire engineering. And at this time, we're going to present her husband with the badge for a pinning. She's also receiving probationary firefighters have yellow helmets, so they stand out a little bit more. And we're presenting her with her brand new engineer helmet this evening. So, congratulations.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now we all stay for congratulations. Sorry.
Now he remembers.
That's all right.
Congratulations.
Son, let me give you some advice. These are the people who give you raises. Good move.
Next presentation is for our more experienced staff. The following is a quote from a wise firefighter that I thought would be appropriate tonight. The best thing an old firefighter can teach a young firefighter is how to be an old firefighter. So firefighters are recognized with years of service, with a blue ribbon on their uniform, and a star for every 5 years. These ribbons are worn on the firefighter's uniform. I'd like to recognize at this time Lieutenant Ron Mensner. Ron has 15 years of service. Lieutenant Mensner is a command officer with the fire department. He has a variety of responsibilities, including researching and purchasing firefighter equipment. His ribbon has 3 stars representing 15 years. And I have one other plaque for you. Plaque is for Ron Mensner for 15 years of service.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you.
Congratulations, Ron.
Thank you.
Thanks, guy.
I'd like to recognize Captain Carl Brown. Carl has 25 years of service with the City of Wall Lake. He's a command officer with the fire department. He's worn many hats over his time here, and he currently administers the training program for our department. His ribbon has 5 stars representing 25 years of service.
Congratulations.
Keep the show going. Congratulations.
Very efficient.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Hey, Carl.
Thank you. staff that could not attend this evening but will be recognized at a later date is Kyle Murphy. Kyle would be receiving his engineer badge and the oath of office. Kevin Merling would receive his 20-year ribbon this evening. And Matthew Salo would receive his 35 years of service. This concludes the fire department's presentation. Firefighters and their family and friends are welcome back to the firehouse for cake and coffee.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, before we go any further, the mayor has a technical question. While we were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, the sound for the council completely went out. I can hear the council sometimes, but it's like watching a old movie with no sound. When you're clapping, I can't hear a thing. So I don't know if some of the mics are turned off or what the problem is. So I'll see what happens. I may be turning it over to you after all. Okay, the next item is request for agenda changes. Do we have any?
Can we recognize Councilman Osnick is on the line?
Good point.
Yes, I finally got on.
Okay, welcome, John.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, we have an agenda change I'm going to suggest.
Okay,
Ms. Pesta, you have the resolution in front of you? Either one
I
of
do
you.
have the resolution. Ms. Jakeway has handed out, that's on your desk tonight, is a resolution before council to direct and authorize our independent auditors to file timely our 2022 year-end financial statements. We had our auditors in this week for their audit. They are working on wrapping that up for us, so we would just like to request this resolution to get approved by council tonight.
Yeah, the audit went well, and they have the state provides a deadline for us to meet. So rather than rushing them in terms of publication, we simply are going to order them to file it timely and then show up at the next the next council meeting may end up being in January council meeting. And that we've done that for the last couple of years for different reasons. We started doing that for COVID. So they would do it and then do the presentation later. In this case, we want to give them more time to package the audit. They left early. I would like to thank Ms. Pesta at this point and Mr. Schrader. They closed the books here. We didn't find any difficulty. We expect a really nice, clean audit. And I think everybody up here has seen that audit presentation before. It looked very similar. A couple of dollars changes here and there, but we'll have them back here if you pass this resolution in January to do the discussion and answer any questions. It actually gives you more time once you get a copy. When they publish, if they get it done by November 15, we'll hand it out, but they will show up in January to answer any questions in person, Mr. Pfeffer. So I'd like you to pass that tonight when it gets down there. So, Mayor, I hope you could hear me.
yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Everybody kind of fades in and out, and it's mostly when you were clapping, everything went silent, so I don't know what's going on. I'm not the technical expert. So you want us to wait on the resolution until we get down further? Is that what you're saying?
Take it any way you can get. If it doesn't put the clerk out of order, you can pass it now if they're inclined to do that.
What's the pleasure of council? You want to go ahead and pass it at this time?
That makes sense to me.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I'll make the resolution of the City Council of the City of Walled Lake to direct and authorize the independent auditors to file timely the 2022 year-end financial statements with the state, that being proposed resolution 2022-35.
35.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? You ready to vote? Okay, roll call, please.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Are there any other requests for agenda changes? Okay. I'll turn it over to you, Madam Clerk, for audience participation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For audience participation, we do have two options for those that are in the public here and for those that are online. If you are online attending the meeting electronic means, we do ask that you press *9 on your telephone keypad. That will activate the raise hand feature. Again, that's pressing *9. Is there any audience for electronic? There is no electronic means. Is there any audience? And we have no physical audience for audience participation. We are good,
Okay.
Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, the next item would be approval of the regular council meeting of September 20th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any questions or discussion? Being none, roll call, please.
Locke?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item would be council reports. Are there any council members that have a report on any board or commission that they either sit on or they attend as a liaison with council?
Planning Commission had absolutely no meeting last month. There was nothing on the agenda, so we did not have a meeting.
Okay, thank you.
The library board is meeting next week, so I also have no
Okay,
anything.
anyone else? Okay, there being none, we'll move on to the city manager.
Madam Mayor, Council, let's begin by moving to receive and file the departmental divisional statistical reports. I have additional to report after that motion.
Is there a motion, please?
I'll make the motion to receive and file.
Lublin supports.
Okay, we have a motion support. Any discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a couple other items here I'd like to update the council on.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right, let me start by saying that our Public Works Superintendent's been out on some, on private time. He's in good shape. I think he's with us tonight. I'm not going to let him talk because we have essentially two in his replacement. Upon his taking the paid leave, I appointed Ms. Hannah Jakeway as acting superintendent of Public Works. She did a good job for the last 2 weeks, and she's going to give us a report on the activity that occurred in the last 2 weeks. Monday morning, I appointed a new member, and she's going to introduce him yet again, and he's in the audience, who is now the acting superintendent until we get Dan back. Dan Ladd is now the Bionic Man, and he'll tell you privately why that's all true. The Bionic Man. Introduce the new, I've replaced you, who replaced Dan, so introduce your replacement.
Sure. So with us in attendance is DPW Acting Superintendent Eric Menzies. He's been with us for a few years now, and he's been a great help in our Department of Public Works, doing a good job overseeing some of the projects that we have. But he will be the point of contact in the meantime while Dan is out healing, so we appreciate your efforts in getting some of the projects wrapped up from the summer, but he's here to answer some of your DPW questions.
We're not going to make him try to report on anything he hasn't worked on. That still falls to Mr. Jakeway one more night. So, Ms. Jakeway, I would like you to give the City Council an update on the project you handled when you were filling in for Dan, and that would include Pontiac Trail.
Sure. So as you all know, Pontiac Trail is getting resurfaced. This is part of the tri-party funds that the city contributed to. The work is being done through Oakland County, so we're glad to see that this project is finally coming to fruition since we've been talking about it since early of this year. The milling machines were out about 2 weeks ago on Friday. So right now, we're just awaiting for the asphalt machines to come in to do the resurfacing work. But we're glad that that project is finally getting done, and this will start, we're hoping that it'll begin on East-West Maple and then work their way into Wixom. Just right outside of Beck Road is the project outline.
Just one comment on that. We did receive our portion, we did receive approximately 85% grant. So we do like that. Good work.
Some of us have been frustrated that it didn't get done as quickly, but there's always something, the rain and this and that. We inspected today, and the asphalt machine, the one that they put on the ground and they dump the asphalt in, it's down there. It's on the old school property, you can see. So they're ready. The rain is probably what's holding them up, but I believe that we're going to get it done maybe this week, not next week. The good news is the contractor controls the asphalt. So it's not, he has to go, they don't have to go anywhere else. They control it. So we're confident, as we can be, that it's going to get done in the next week or so. So bear with us. Tell them about the code project over in Bolton and a couple other things, and then we'll get to the public safety campus.
Sure. Madam Mayor and City Council members, as you all know, there was a house on Bolton that we demolished late, about 2 weeks ago, due to the situation that it was in. So we've been, city manager and myself, we've been visiting and frequenting the place to make sure that the contractors that we partnered with were doing the work appropriately. So we're pleased to report that the open hole inspection that was done to ensure that the demolition was done correctly was approved, and that site, should you swing by, you'll notice that the house that was falling into disrepair has now been removed. So we're glad to see, as well as the neighbors in that area and community, are glad to see that that house has been gone, as it was an eyesore. And we are working with neighbors on both of the sides of that property. The contractor did accidentally remove the fencing that was for the neighbors, so we are working on them on getting it repaired. But the demolition did go smoothly.
Is that the fence on both sides of the property or just one?
I believe both sides.
There was a whole lot of big equipment down there. And
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
It was all grown in. I don't know that we can blame anybody. The limbs were sticking through, was overgrown, even into the neighbor's yard. So we touched on, the contractor touched on both fences, so we're going to have to do that work. But as I've said before, we're at the end of it, so go by if you get a chance. I think some of you have already been by. I know Councilman Osnick's been by. Actually, the whole thing was brought to my attention some time ago by Councilmember Woods. So we've remedied the neighborhood problem. The other issues with the owner, we don't know the end of that, but we met our responsibility. The city attorney did a good job getting the court order. We'd be probably dealing with the mortgage company and how that goes. Somebody owns the property now. But the neighbors are pretty pleased. We've talked to a couple of them, and they're pleased that has been taken care of, and we'll get their fences back in order. And that will be the end of that project. I hope we don't have to do that too many more times. We have done that several times in the last few years. We've had to demo a couple of places that fell into disrepair, and it does a disservice to all the neighbors if the city doesn't take action. Sometimes it seems harsh, but that's what we have to do. So that's where we are on that. Let's give them an update on the public safety campus, the farmers market, and we would end with the Recreations Commission and the Planning Commission and everybody who participated in getting the trail, including the DDA and everybody. So give them an update on farmers market and what we're going to do on the 26th.
Sure. So our farmers market is wrapping up. We're nearing the end of our 2022 season. There are 2 markets left, tomorrow and next week, October 26th. It's been a great season. We have definitely seen an increase in vendor participation, but also the patrons that come and visit our site. We have seen an increase this year, so I'm super thankful for that. To wrap up our 2022 season, we are going to be having a harvest festival during the market hours from 11 to 1. We'll be inviting a local musician that we've worked with this past summer to do some live entertainment, as well as a local food truck to provide some hot food on site during the market. And we'll also be including a petting zoo, a bounce house, and pony rides as well for the kids that visit. We're looking to have some of the preschoolers out and some of the moms who may have some free time during the day to come to the market during those hours. In the afternoon, we're excited to announce that we will be opening our pedestrian bridge that connects the Walled Lake Linear Park to our public safety campus. We'll be having a ribbon cutting ceremony scheduled at 5 with activities and festivities running from 4 to 6. This event will also include a petting zoo, pony rides, an obstacle course, as well as police and fire vehicles on display for residents and neighbors to come and check out. So this is open to the public. And basically this event is to celebrate the joint efforts of city administration, Downtown Development Authority, and the Parks and Recreation, and finally building a multi-purpose facility that will be the future home to our Walled Lake's own very own monarch butterfly sanctuary garden and Walled Lake Trailhead.
As usual, I'd like to add something to that. I think we have volunteers. The mayor will be opening the short ceremony. We'll keep it short. And next, to give a little speech at the cutting of this person will represent the Recreation Commission. That will be Councilmember Minnie Fernandez, who will have a few words to say. She volunteered, I do believe. Right? You did.
Can't wait to see you, Mindy.
Volunteered. And we'll be calling on Steve Blair, the DDA chair, to say a few words, and any other council member who needs to say a few words. I would also call on Councilmember Ambrose to speak. His father led the way to open up that whole process. He fought when it was hard to fight to get the trail going and the campus going. So everybody on this board, this will be about our time. We're not inviting a lot of people from outside to come speak. This is not about giving people a forum to get elected. It's about giving you a forum to speak to your constituents and tell them the good things we're doing. With regard to the monarch butterfly, we have a really good volunteer. Her name is Loretta Witt, and she will be setting up a committee to keep that going right into next year. And we might even see some things planted, some milkweed plants. Those milkweed plants initially being provided by Councilmember Osnick, who, if you've driven by his house lately, is just full of milkweed. So we expect that would actually become really quite a nice butterfly sanctuary for the coming year. And if you've been over there lately, you see that Mr. Ladd got it started. Eric has kept it going. It's starting to green up, and we might be a little greener than we are today, but we're not as far along in terms of greening it up, but we're cutting the ribbon and after you guys all speak. So see you on the 26th, I hope.
Yes, sir.
One thing we didn't mention, we're still working on the beach to putting up fencing there. That's coming a little slower than we hoped. So we'll give you a report on that. But the fencing could go up before the next meeting in November. So we'll let you know how that goes. But the beach is looking pretty good in terms of the view and how it looks. Not too many people hitting the beach. A little cold now. But they do go down and sit down in the sun and kind of sunbathe. So it's pretty neat to go over there. The view changed everything. It's a much better view than I saw when it was all closed in like that. So we're looking to maybe keep it very simple, which is not what we expected to begin with, but it looks pretty good. So we'll give you an update on that at the next meeting. I think that does it.
You think that's it?
Mayor, I'm completed my presentation for the evening, I think.
Okay, thank you. And I think we're all looking forward to the dedication of our public safety campus next door. I think it's going to be a great event for the citizens of Walled Lake. Correspondence, do we have any tonight?
No, Madam Mayor.
City Attorney, do you have anything for us?
City Attorney Van Arian is not present tonight, Madam Mayor.
Well, the only thing I can see is up to,
No, I understand.
so I didn't know if he was there, if he wasn't. I thought maybe he was just quiet.
No.
I can probably guess where he is at this time of the year. Okay, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, if you don't mind, since the council, I can hear everybody else, but the council is cutting in and out, and I'm not very good at reading lips from this angle here. It's not that clear. So if you want to go ahead and do our approval of our resolutions, I would appreciate it.
I'll be happy to, Mayor. Thank you. So we are on to unfinished business. And number 1, the second reading of the Boards and Commission Ordinance Amendments, Chapters 26, Chapter 54, and Chapter 58. This is the second reading.
Need a motion to move second reading of the ordinance.
I move for second reading of the
Oceanic supports.
amendments.
Do we have discussion?
Looks good.
All right, roll call.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Yes.
Ambrose, Fernandez,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, moving along, new business. We have a proposed resolution, 2022 that would be 36 now. Delinquent nuisance receivables, winter 2022 tax roll. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Ambrose will second it.
Do we have any discussion?
Ms. Pesta can answer any questions. I think it's self-explanatory. Most of it, we've done all this before.
We've seen this before. All right, roll call, please.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick,
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes,
Thank you.
All right, moving along, the proposed resolution, 2022-37, the drain special assessments for the winter 2022 tax roll. Do I have a motion?
Woods will make that motion.
Fernandez, second.
Discussion, I know we've seen this before. No discussion, roll call.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Locke,
Yes.
Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ackley.
yes,
Thank you.
Okay, we have a third item there, the proposed ordinance C363-22, amendment to Chapter 18, Section 407.
You'll need a motion for first reading.
I'll take a, do I have a motion for first reading?
Oceanic will make that motion.
I'll support that.
All right, discussion?
Ms. Jankway, your memo covers it, but let's have a discussion about it.
Sure. Madam Mayor and City Council members, presented before you tonight is a proposed ordinance amending the operation hours in our C3 district. And this was brought up at last week's DDA board meeting to extend business hours to encourage businesses to stay open longer. The memo basically outlines the amendment that'll be made. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And then again, this was discussed at last week's DDA meeting and unanimously recommended by all those in attendance.
I know I was at that DDA meeting, and the idea is to move the hours from not just 9 PM, but to 11 PM, and the businesses, I think, would appreciate that if they want to stay open.
And it looks like they'll open an hour earlier.
If they so choose. That gives them some options to, to work their own hours. There's already, the bars and restaurants are open later, so, giving a business the opportunity.
Well, and I think what's important here too, Bennett, is that, we're trying to promote and revitalize, bring back the old what we call the old downtown. And I think by doing this, we're supporting the businesses there that are trying so hard to accomplish what the city is hoping to see in the old downtown. And that is bringing the businesses back to life.
I have a question.
Sure.
Will this only be limited to the old downtown, or will this be the whole DDA zone?
Only the C3 district, that's how it was put for us. If there's a change, you could amend it, but we get to second reading if somebody wants to do that. But the C3 district is a smaller look than the bigger.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Any other questions? Input? All right, let's have a roll call.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Looks like we are on to the council comments. And we'll start to my left here. Councilwoman Locke.
Thank you. I would just like to thank all of our men and women in blue. I know the fire department went next door for cake, which I wish I was invited. But I really appreciate all that you do. And to the city staff, thank you very much. Hannah, I went to the farmer's market several times this summer. And I've got to tell you, the crowd is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next week, is it? The 26th? At the ribbon ceremony, so can't wait. Thank you.
Very nice. Councilwoman Fernandez.
Want to remind everybody that November 8th is Election Day. So make sure that you know what's on the ballot. We are very lucky here in Walled Lake, where we have one of the best clerks and support staff in the county, probably the state. So it's a very easy process to go in and vote. It usually goes very quickly. So there's no reason for you not to get out and vote and do your due diligence on finding out who's on the ballot and the proposals that are on the ballot, and come out and vote on November 8th.
Councilman Woods.
I too would like to echo the statements for our public safety team. Do an outstanding job year in, year out. I was able to attend the Walled Lake Elementary Color Run this year. Between them and Mary Helen Guest, they both raised about $20,000 each. So it's amazing what the community support does for the schools that are in our neighborhoods. So really appreciate that. And then looking forward to bikes, bridges, and butterflies next week. We hope all can attend.
Thank you. Councilman Ambrose.
I also want to thank all of our police and fire for everything they do to keep this city safe. I mean, we're only as strong as you guys are, and you guys are really strong. You guys keep this city afloat with everything you do. We never have to worry about safety. We never have to worry about fires, police. We know you have our back, so that's very awesome to know. For our city staff, again, our city is only as strong as our staff, and I would put up our staff, like Mindy said, against anybody. We're strong, and we're as strong as you guys are. I also want to thank Ms. Hannah Jakeways for the Walled Lake Farmers Market. I would happy to announce that 100% of our ingredients for our weekly soup comes from the Walled Lake Farmers Market.
All right.
Nice.
And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. I'll go next, and then I'll turn it back to you, Mayor, for the mayor's report. I'd like to say, I've said it many times, the way our teams work together, administration, police, fire, and DPW. We're one team. And the public safety campus expansion is just so impressive when it's all been cleared out. Our property abuts the trail, the way the creek runs through it. It is truly going to be a real beautiful piece for the city of Walled Lake. And then again, we save the money before we spend the money. And we have no debt. And I think our one old debt is going to expire come February. So that is just so impressive that we continue to do projects without borrowing money. So, well done, team. Thank you. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Thank you for stepping in. I can only echo the sentiments and the comments of my council. The city has come so far. We're looking great. Our projects are moving along. They're being completed, and I think it's fantastic. Looking back over the years, we struggled very hard to get to this point, and it's great. Now, if we can get Pontiac Trail paved, a few other things wrapped up before winter, we'll be okay. Mr. City Manager, you alluded to it. We didn't discuss it when we talked today, and I did have it on my list. Are we going to cancel the November and December council meetings, or have we not decided at this point?
I didn't, what'd you say? Mayor, I couldn't hear.
Oh, well, I'll yell a little louder. What are we going to do about the November and December council meetings? Have we decided yet, or are we going, where are we at with those?
Well, we're going to have a council meeting, unless it gets changed, for November on the 15th.
Okay.
And then we were looking, as we often do, to have the council member vote to cancel the meeting in December so that everything moves to January.
Okay. You just confused me when you said that this might be the last council meeting. I thought maybe you had something up your sleeve for November too. So, okay, that's all you
You
answered.
can cancel it if you like.
I don't want to do that.
No, I like seeing you guys.
Well, they like to come. So no, I would like it would be nice if we could take December. We don't have a lot pressing. I don't expect to bring anything back that's going to require a vote. So if we can take December and have everybody have a good holiday, the various holidays in December, and then come back and hit the ground running in January.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that at the November meeting. I just wasn't sure where you were headed there on a couple things. Okay, that's all I have tonight. Does anyone have anything else that they forgot to mention or would like to mention? If not, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Let's go home.
We are adjourned.
Let's go home.